Recently, DICE made yet another pretty controversial change to Battlefield 6 by removing several modes from the active playlists. This includes King of the Hill and Rush, along with Strike Point. And their reasoning here brings us back to something I've talked about several times now on this channel, which is matchmaking. It seems like these playlist changes were made to improve overall matchmaking health and queue times by funneling players into modes with the strongest activity already. On paper, I understand this idea, because if the player base is spread across too many different playlists, some of them will eventually struggle to fill, but there's a few problems with cutting out these modes entirely. Firstly, these are modes that people bought the game expecting to be able to play. Rush and King of the Hill were explicitly discussed and advertised as a part of Battlefield 6. I even saw somebody on Reddit claim that Steam gave them a full refund after around 470 hours of playtime because several of these advertised modes have been removed. Now, obviously, this is just an anecdotal report, so I'm not saying everybody can suddenly get a refund, but it is pretty telling that removing content from a game has created that conversation and potentially led to somebody getting a full refund after 470 hours. The second problem here is that, at least from my experience, matchmaking still sucks. I haven't noticed some dramatic improvement in wait times. I'm still getting into matches where it takes several minutes just for enough players to join and the match to actually fill. So basically, we're just removing options from players in the name of improving matchmaking, while matchmaking experiences itself still doesn't seem good at all. And this is exactly why I keep coming back to persistent servers. Instead of constantly breaking everybody apart and throwing them back into matchmaking, hoping the system will rebuild another lobby, let people stay on a server. That way the server populates over time, allowing players to rotate through the maps together, and if somebody leaves, fill that individual spot instead of rebuilding the entire experience from scratch. This is how Battlefield operated for years, and it feels particularly relevant when DICE is now having to remove playlists just to keep matchmaking healthy. And to be clear here, I'm not saying that the current matchmaking system should disappear entirely. One thing I actually like is being able to choose specific maps and modes and have the matchmaking only search for those matches that fit the criteria. I want that option to stay. Persistent servers should be another way to play, not a replacement for that. Because if I want to jump straight into a specific map or mode, let matchmaking find it for me, then that's what I want to do. But if I want to find a good server and want to stay there for multiple matches, I should be able to do that as well. And I believe that these two systems can coexist. Anyway, DICE is saying that they're going to discuss matchmaking in more detail and explain what they're seeing in the data, and I'm interested to hear what they have to say, but right now we're sacrificing player choice to improve matchmaking, and I'm not convinced we're actually getting any better matchmaking in return. So at this point, maybe the solution isn't fewer modes, maybe it's a better system for keeping people together. But I'm curious with how you feel about DICE removing or rotating advertised modes in order to improve matchmaking, and also, do you feel like matchmaking has gotten any better since some of these changes have been implemented? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. RAMTEID out.